Hello and welcome. This is Fireworks. The Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC, was created by the Obasanjo administration as an interventionist agency to address the decades of complaints of neglect of the oil-rich region. The government gave the agency the mandate to develop the region. Former President Umaru Musa Yar'Adua in 2008 created the Ministry of the Niger Delta and made the NDDC an agency under the ministry. Now, it appears that these two critical bodies are at loggerheads over the administration of the former, that's the NDDC. What are the implications of this disagreement over the scheme of things? Today we'll speak with who should know, and my guest is someone who has dedicated his life to the advocacy of the self-determination of the people of the Niger Delta. Welcome once again to Fireworks. Let's take a moment. Thank you for staying tuned to Fireworks. I am Bukola Samuel-Wemimo, and my guest today is the coordinator of the Ijaw Monitoring Group in the person of Comrade Joseph Evah. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's start in the most appropriate way. The new minister of the Niger Delta, former governor of Akpabio State, Godswill Akpabio, is just about a month or thereabout in office, or plus, a month plus. How do you assess the way he has started?
Well, we congratulate him for his appointment as Minister of Niger Delta. Nobody rejected the appointment in the Niger Delta. He was one of our governors in one of the states, and now he's now Minister of Niger Delta. So we expected him as an experienced politician to now sit down, and you can see that when he came in, the Niger Delta ministry, the Ministry of Niger Delta, is almost dead, doing nothing because of no funding, and people don't even know that we have Ministry of Niger Delta. So while we expected him to now focus and face his Ministry of Niger Delta work, we were surprised that he just wake up one morning and decide to create confusion. And we say we cannot allow this, because over the years in the Niger Delta, it is confusion, disunity, confusion, crisis created by the elites of the region. So this time around also we said, no, go and do your work. You were given Ministry of Niger Delta. Now, let me tell you, this is not the first time that some politicians try to pocket the NDDC. This is not the first time. During the Yar'Adua government, during the President Obasanjo and Yar'Adua government, during that period also, some people wanted to put the NDDC under the special advisor on Niger Delta. That time there was this office, special advisor on Niger Delta. No, we kick against it.
But the original concept or the design of former President, God rest his soul, late Umaru Musa Yar'Adua, was that the NDDC should be under the Ministry of the Niger Delta.
We said no. We said no, because that is confusion. The Ministry of Niger Delta, the moment you mention, you just give it like that, the Ministry of Niger Delta will just die. Every other person coming there will just be facing NDDC, because they know the billions and billions in NDDC. So they will just even neglect. The Ministry of Niger Delta will just be on paper. And that is what Akpabio want to do. He just want to make sure Ministry of Niger Delta, but doing nothing. So we said no. And we rejected it at that time.
Comrade,
Obasanjo and Yar'Adua government, that let NDDC be under the presidency, and you the presidency. If NDDC is not working, we hold you responsible.
But comrade, this administration has also seen the necessity of placing the NDDC under the ministry, and that's why the president redeployed the NDDC from the office of the secretary to the government of the federation to the Ministry of the Niger Delta, and he cites the need to enhance the quality of life of the people of the Niger Delta.
Yes, President Buhari is a listening president. He has reversed himself, and let me give you one critical area in the Niger Delta. He reversed himself. When he was sworn in as president, when he took over from former President Jonathan, President Buhari told us that the amnesty office will last for 1 year. Go back and listen to his acceptance speech. As we speak, the amnesty office, amnesty program is still going on. Because the elders and leaders went to him and said, there is no training for the people yet. We have not completed training for everybody. And we need to empower these ex-militants. Without that, you cannot stop the program. The president realized that, yes. He reversed himself. We are telling him, reverse yourself in this matter. Because if you carry NDDC, put into a minister of Niger Delta, the confusion that will be coming up because of the interest and all that, NDDC will be made useless again. So let NDDC be under the presidency. They have suggested that during Obasanjo time, we stop it. They suggested that during Yaradua time, we stop it. And when we give reasons, people will know that, yes, those of us who have been in this struggle right from the time of Kensarua will tell them the plain truth.
But then again, if the NDDC has justified the reason for its creation, yes, why is the minister having to superintend over its affairs?
No, that was why we said, praise God, when the president said he wants to probe NDDC. We say God will bless the president for saying he wants to probe NDDC. We say God bless the president. Now, we are now also now telling the president, it is not only NDDC that is under probe. Nimasa is under probe. There is a board there. There is a DG there. We also know that the NSA and the NSA office, that is National Security Office, National Security Advisor Office, is under probe. The Chief of Defense Staff is in place. Chief of Naval Staff is in place. NSA, sworn in NSA is in place, doing the work, fighting the Boko Haram for us, and taking care of the security situation in the Northeast. So you can probe NDDC, but that does not mean that the legal people that the act say that there should be a constituted authority in that NDDC should be step aside for you to now carry another drama to come and cause confusion. We will not allow that. That is what we are saying. Almost all the agencies that Obasanjo, Jonathan and Yaradua headed, they are all under probe by this government. Did we stop their board from being inaugurated? So we cannot allow our own to step aside. Those of us who know the history of this country, those of us who have been following the situation in the Niger Delta, when we see signs that will create problems, just like what the oil companies are doing. Tomorrow, when the oil companies, you ask them, you are not developing us, they will say, but you people are fighting. But you people are fighting. This is how we want to now fall into the trap, causing confusion that people will say, well, President Buhari was in office and he wanted to help you people, but you people are fighting. That is the type of excuse they want to give us at the end of the day. That is what we want to stop. And we are telling the president, the way you reverse your stand, that amnesty will last for only 1 year, but today amnesty program is still going on because you now reason with us, the leaders of the region, listening to us. Do you know the power of NDDC? If you put 7 ministers together,
let's assume
it's not up to NDDC. That is the way the Niger Delta politicians see NDDC. Anybody that is in charge of NDDC believe is already in paradise. That is how they operate. And that's why we want to stop them.
And that's why we will assume that the new minister has good intentions for the NDDC.
No, he has not finished the work. He's a minister.
You are obviously happy with the newly constituted and approved Pius Odubu board of the NDDC. And you're a stakeholder. How will you hold to account this newly constituted board of the NDDC such that they would deliver on the mandate given?
The way President Buhari has ordered for a probe, everybody will sit up. And that was why the whole Niger Delta was jubilating when the president announced. Now the president announced that he's going to probe NDDC and deal with anybody who manipulate and destroy NDDC. While we are celebrating, Akpabio went to meet him to go and tell him that he wants to oversee the probe. Like how? In what way? These new people that are going to be sworn in, the board, Odubu-led board, they are not in NDDC before now. So they have nothing to do with whatever probe that is going on. They will not. That is why we want them to go to the National Assembly. Akpabio went to the National Assembly to cry to the National Assembly that the money given to Minister of Niger Delta is not enough. So who is now going to the National Assembly on behalf of NDDC? Because there is no board. No any other person legally right to go to the assembly to go and talk that this is what we want in the amount of money sent to NDDC is unacceptable. Nobody is going to the National Assembly.
You are jubilating over the decision of the Buhari administration to probe the NDDC.
Yeah, so that people will sit up.
You know how probes have gone in the past. Why are you optimistic about this one?
Let international firm, we expected the president to announce an international firm that is involved in all this auditing and probing of it. That is when we even have trust. If you bring any Nigeria, we will protest. We say no, we don't want any Nigeria agency to come and probe NDDC. We want international recognized financial institutions to come and probe the problems of NDDC. That is one of our stands.
Now, that brings me to the next question. You are an activist and you've dedicated your life to the cause of the Niger Delta. Since creation of NDDC and between that time and I think 2009, records say over $40 billion have been invested in that body,
Commission.
in that commission. Yet there is no justifiable evidence for that amount. How do you feel when you see the current state of things, the quality of life of your people?
No, one thing is that some of the figures you are talking about, sometimes they are just on paper.
But then again, there are abandoned projects that litter many parts of the Niger Delta, Delta State, Cross River State, that remain, in the same state even till now.
No, not even from NDDC. Do you know that it is not NDDC we started with? And I have to tell the public and tell the whole world.
Some of these projects attacked NDDC.
I'm even talking about Umpadek. The information I want to give you is that NDDC is the brainchild, was the idea from Umpadek. And Umpadek was Babangida's idea. Umpadek was created because of the anger and the expression of boys in the military against Nigeria.
Are you holding brief for those who have mismanaged projects in the NDDC?
No, I am trying to tell you.
I'm telling you, some of the abandoned projects carried a signpost of the NDDC and they litter many areas of the Niger Delta.
No, I'm talking.
This information is available.
No, they are all over. When you drive around the Niger Delta, you see the abandoned projects. Very, very clear. You don't need spiritual consultant. You see them physically with your eyes. And that is why we are angry with the governors when they say they are not carried along. When the governors are using their siren to pursue fowl and everything, monkey and everything along the expressway, are they not seeing the abandoned project? They have representative from their state. They never call the representative and say, follow me to social board, blackboard, along Sapele Road, along Social Avenue. Why are you not doing? Why are you representing? You are representing us in NDDC. Look at the abandoned project. The governors are not doing that too. It is not when their own party members are not involved in board appointment, they will say we want to see the president.
So the leaders of the Niger Delta, by your last submission now, are complicit in the state of things in the Niger Delta.
And at the same time, we write petitions, we confront. Don't you see I'm celebrating how Buhari pursue the Niger Delta governors away? They are the political leaders. They are the political leaders. Let me give you one story. When the Oputa panel was set up, I sent petition to Oputa panel. That's why we don't want any of these politicians to come and mess up. We know how we have been part of the struggle right from Kensarua era till now. Now, some people just call themselves, we are governors, we are senators, to do whatever they like. Do they know how these states were created? That was why recently when my state, Bayelsa State, some of the governors, some of the members of the House of Assembly, they went to call the governor. Since you are going, let us arrange some certain things for ourselves. What are they trying to arrange? Give us life pension. Come with a bill. We, Bayelsa House of Assembly members, we want life pension. 33 years old boys, 28 years old boys, 42 years old boys. While our lecturers that retired as vice chancellors, they have no pension. Then these boys, small boys, who gang themselves up and say, as State House of Assembly members, we are honorables.
You're watching Fireworks. My guest today is Comrade Joseph Evah, coordinator of the Ijaw Monitoring Group. We're looking at the back and forth between the Niger Delta Development Commission and the Ministry of the Niger Delta, particularly over the administration of the NDDC. Let's take a break. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Yes, we're glad to have you back. You're still watching Fireworks, and my guest is Comrade Joseph Evah. We're looking at the disagreement over the constitution of a steering committee to pilot the affairs of the Niger Delta Development Commission, a decision made by the new minister of the Ministry of the Niger Delta, Godswill Akpabio. Of course, the position of my guest is that the NDDC should be allowed to run its affairs according to the laws establishing it. But then again, he advocates accountability. Speaking of which, comrade, by the way, thank you for your patience, for your time and contribution. We cannot talk enough about accountability. Looking at the 2018 budget for the Niger Delta Development Commission, there was 71.20 billion naira allocated to the commission and 53.89 billion naira allocated to the Ministry of the Niger Delta, even though you say that there is no activity there, but there's a lot of resources going in that direction as well. And in this year's budget, by the way, the NDDC got 346.5 billion naira. Are you satisfied with development in the Niger Delta despite these resources?
No. And that was why one of my petitions, I sent 4 petitions to Puta panel. I said a lot of, with this NDDC money will be coming in, we have 13% derivation. Then we have state allocation to local governments, allocations will be going to state, that is in the constitution. So one of my petitions to Puta panel is that the 13% derivation money should not be given to the governors. The governors can have their normal allocations from the federal allocation sharing, but the 13%, because we are oil producing or mineral producing area, should not go to the governor. We have the secret of how Babangida built Abuja. So one of my petitions to Puta panel, when the Puta panel sitting was going on, was that we want to Puta to recommend that the 13% derivation should not be given to any governor, but should be the arrangement is that Julius Berger and the Niger Delta governors or the Niger Delta leaders should sign agreement, especially the presidency. Without that, all these 13% or this and that.
But comrade, aren't you treading on soft ground? Isn't that going to engender another round of militancy and violent agitation for resource control?
No, because if we are seeing even now the tension, and if people see development, they will clap on. If the rubber plantations in a Sapele area and you are using the byproduct crude oil, petrochemical, 90% of all what we are putting on is through petrochemical and rubber. We don't have industries like that. If these industries are coming up and establishments are going on and development is going on, everybody will be celebrating in the Niger Delta. Transferring money, exchanging money with politicians and all that. I said, our development will be delayed. We are not saying that the governors should not have money to work. The federation money, federation allocation is going to the governors. Money is going to each of the local governments. So, but the 13%, if it is you turn this into only cash flow and all that, we can't get to any place. Oputa's secretariat wrote me that all my petitions are dangerous.
So are you saying that the governors of the Niger Delta region are complicit in the delay in the development of the region?
Yes. You know, military just left. Some of them just came. We are in power. We are on ground. We said, look, leave all this on a matter. We have big problem on ground. Now, up to now, the problem is on ground. And now, why we want to make sure that we manage these things that Akpabio is trying to cause. We don't want to be seen as people that are not united. One of the things that we have shown to the world that we are not united, and that thing dealt with us, was the Ogoni crisis. Ken Saruwa was hanged because Niger Delta people are not united. So when I see some people, and these people are not from oil producers, these are people that this and that. Look at how this mindset is taking us backward. We are all oil producing. We are from Niger Delta. We are all oil producing area. Why are we discriminating? Even the laws there, some people are quoting and all that, is to divide us. The oil companies, when you complain they are not developing us, the oil companies say we are ready to develop them, but they are fighting. They are not united. When Ken was arrested, and if the Ijaw people said no, Ogoni Ken, the Ogoni leader Ken, nobody will hang him in this country. Nobody would have hanged Ken Saruwa. Some of us felt it is Ken Saruwa problem. Some of us felt it is Ogoni problem. So this spirit that divide and rule and all this confusion is what is coming up anytime our elites now find. Look at the billions of naira going to NDDC. And look at the money that was allocated to Ministry of Niger Delta.
Isn't it a paradox of some sort? The Niger Delta is rich yet poor. And in the same breath, how do you reconcile the leaders who, for personal gain, they mortgage the development of their people for what they will benefit? Where is the way out of this dilemma, particularly for the people?
Talking. We will continue to talk. We will continue to talk. I was part of this.
You've been speaking for decades,
yes,
comrade.
Yes, and God is God. We will continue to talk. I know the June 12th situation. You know, the last 25 years, June 12th anniversary, I was given award by the Kakanfo of Yoruba land, Gani Adams, for my contribution. I was the coordinator of non-indigenous for the actualization of June 12th. This country, we should stay together. When some people say, let us break on, we are not breaking anywhere. Let us stay here and solve the problem. The founding fathers of this country that are gone, let us make them proud. We are all one in this country. And we will continue to pursue any injustice, we continue to speak out. If we can, just like recently, when I saw the way South Africans were maltreating Nigerians, beating our people up, burning our people, killing our people, I said, what? I said, what is our Minister of Foreign Affairs doing? When he met with the South African ambassador, I expected him to lecture the South African ambassador that even some of his political leaders in South Africa went to our schools. I challenge all the vice chancellor in University of Ibadan, University of Lagos, University of Ife, University of Jos, Ahmadu Bello University to come up with the list of their students in the 80s, in the 70s that went to their school eating free food, sleep free bed. University of Lagos, we saw it. So if the children of these people are coming to insult us, maltreat us in South Africa, and none of our officials in the Foreign Affairs Ministry can call this ambassador and educate him, even put all television in this world to that education, go through the file. We have 200 students in the 1977 University of Lagos from South Africa, free education for them, free food, this and that. These children will stop insulting us in South Africa. And I want to thank Buhari for giving us a history back to our school system. These people are insulting us as if there was no relationship before. That is the situation. So we will continue to advocate and say what is right and insist. You cannot cause confusion in the Niger Delta, draw us back. Stop this. Stop this. When we continue like that, a day will come. We will believe in this world. I hope those who are gone, they will also maybe one way or the other hear about it. That Buhari declared June 12th Democracy Day. That is it. So all our struggle during June 12th is not in vain.
We'll talk about your vision and how that vision will be actualized for the Niger Delta. But first, I'm glad you mentioned late Ken Saro-Wiwa earlier on.
He was killed because we are not united.
25 years after, there's still a delay in the cleanup of Ogoni land. So what do you propose? Because there are reports that there are complaints about procurement process, that's what is delaying the cleanup. And then some groups are taking the agency holding the funds in trust, that's high prep. What do you propose to be the appropriate way to go about the cleanup of Ogoni lands, such that the delay is eliminated?
Yes. It is not only Ogoni. The whole Niger Delta needs cleanup. That's why anytime our youths are angry, we beg them to be patient. But when you destroy any pipe and all that, whatever destruction you have there, in the next 100 years, it will still torment our children. So don't let us continue with this advocacy and all that. Like, for example, I was the one who went to court to stop dredging of River Niger through my lawyer, Femi Falana, against Abacha military government. There was no environmental impact assessment. I said, no, we cannot allow the dredging. No environmental impact assessment? You want to kill us before our time? No way. And you are still flaring gas, then pollution, no environmental impact assessment. Where do you want us to go?
And the spirit of Ken Saro-Wiwa
is demanding.
Beckons again 25 years after.
25 years after. Now we continue to demand. The cleanup, we want that to appease the spirit of Ken Saro-Wiwa and others who fought and died because of Niger Delta. Ken Saro-Wiwa was not doing those things because of Ogoni land per se. When he talked about the environmental destruction of our area in London and other area, he called Niger Delta.
As we custom now, what stands between that vision that you have for the Niger Delta region and the current state of things?
No, it is continued advocacy.
Thank you very much for your time on Fireworks today.
Thank you for the opportunity.
And that's how it's been on the program. Comrade Joseph Evah, he's strong in his position that the advocacy should continue, and we hope that his dream for the Niger Delta will, in no distant future, become a reality. That's our package for you on the show today. Join us again same time next week when we'll bring you another edition. On behalf of the team, I am Bukola Samuel-Wemimo. Bye for now.